me tonight.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Sorry, guys. Stream got interrupted yet again.
Are we back up?
Yeah, we're back up.
Cool.
Oh, and Avok, apart from, you know, us killing the baddies, you also missed, Pussy's soul getting sold to Asmodeus.
How the fuck did that happen?
Hello, I'm over here. Anybody gonna heal me at any point?
Okay.
I think I have 6.
Also, this. A lot of things happened out of context, so apologies. We were having that little moment and we weren't able to address Hawk's investigation of the mirror.
That's right.
No, I can wait for everybody to do the character stuff when you do that if you want.
I mean, do we want to investigate the mirror?
I did.
I mean, it's probably important.
Okay, fine. What does the party want to do?
I mean, I imagine Avok wants a few answers about what they saw with Rita.
Okay, we can hold on that for a minute.
Yeah.
So,
Rando needs to heal some people.
Just do your thing.
okay. So,
well, first we're doing Hawk's thing first.
oh, okay.
He's been waiting.
Rando first.
No, let's do Hawk's thing.
No, Rando, just roll your health. Hawk, do your thing. Investigate.
Got it.
Okay. Would it be investigation or insight?
Insight.
Or yeah, it's investigation. Sorry, that was a dumb
Insight.
question.
No, insight.
Oh, insight. Okay, I got advantage on that. 16 plus and a proficient, and I need a mark of.
Oh, like now. Duh. Okay.
Sorry, I'm pulling up that she hadn't marked that.
Okay.
Just Zach, just type the values. You don't have to say it out to me. What you're healing for.
I'm actually casting Cure Wounds.
I know. I'm saying just type up the values.
Yep.
He's actually using magic to heal. That's impressive.
So that's a 22. This thing is physically painful to look at. Like with your insight and with your eye, like it physically hurts. You look at the mirror, and it's not just your reflection. It's 1,000 reflections, hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands of trappets, all folding, changing, shifting, intermingling, all folding in on themselves in a single instance. And then none, and then all. It is shifting and changing, shimmering and shaking. The whole world seems to be collapsing inside of this thing, and you are not sure what to make of it.
I'm gonna take one of the corpses of one of the cultists and throw it in. Let's see what happens.
As it touches the mirror, you watch as the glass curves over the cultist and devours the body.
Okay.
Nothing changes. You still see yourself. And it like I said, it hurts. You begin to you know what? I need you to actually make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. That's like my 12th one tonight.
You're staring into this thing.
And it's staring back.
How many religion checks I had to make this game?
No, I know. It's for all of us.
It's been a long game.
It's I got a 17.
It's been a worthwhile game.
Oh,
Yes,
it
A
has.
17?
Who's ready for
You're fine. You take. Yeah, if we want to hang on for social, I'm down for social. We can.
I am too.
Absolutely.
I am down. I have
But
nothing.
I might cut stream for that because OBS is fucking killing me tonight.
Yeah, Worm.
I'd be okay with that. We could keep it as a recording, and then the social part of this session could be record only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll post that for everyone else to view, and I'll have to edit these streams so that it's like part 1, part 2, part 3, where it just cut.
Okay.
You take 5 points of psychic damage as you feel like blood begin to trickle down from your nose as you physically cannot comprehend staring at this thing.
That's not good.
And you stumble. And you falter. And as you stumble and falter, your hand touches the glass.
No! I was like 10 feet away!
And as your hand touches the glass, it doesn't consume you.
Oh.
Instead, you just stare, and it's yourself. Normal, again. And it doesn't hurt. And then you watch as the mirror begins to ripple. as a pale blue hand comes out and grasps your wrist and pulls you in. And suddenly you're somewhere else.
Shit.
You look around you, and the entirety of the walls, the floor, the ceiling itself all seems to be refracting crystal, moving and shifting in a pattern that you just can't fathom. It's random and jagged and wild, and in each crystal, each glass, you see a reflection of yourself. Some where your hair is bright red, and some where you're wearing dirty beggar's clothes, others where you're dressed as a knight of old, valorous and young, and some where you are even, you know, old and withered with the age that is rightfully due to you. And as you look out across this crystalline field of shifting and shaking crystals, before you stands Valus Taorn and says, "Are you alright?"
Well, I suppose I should be asking you the same question. Where exactly are we?
And as you say this, do you want to make a perception check?
Sure. That's just a good 20.
Ooh.
Not good enough?
So on that note, you look across all these crystals, and every reflection of Valus Taorn is the same. And he looks at you and he goes, "You should be asking me the same. I mean, I'm fine. I'm stronger than most would give me credit for."
I'm just glad to see you're not dead.
But of course. I mean, after all, what kind of fortune teller dies before he gets to see his own future play out? And he goes, "Come on. I've got someone I'd like you to meet."
Can I roll to make sure he's not trying to deceive me or something?
Yeah, you can roll insight.
Insight. Use that advantage. Alright, so it's 19.
He's telling the truth.
Okay.
He leads you through this, and you notice that he's very careful in where he steps and how he walks in this place. And you notice a few times as you kind of experimentally try and step off the path, you just bump into like what feel like glass walls. And he keeps telling you, like, "Come on, keep up, don't dally behind. This place changes, so you gotta really figure out where you're going." And he leads you for about what feels like 10 minutes through this winding maze of places, and you look off into the distance and you see a little gnomish man in like purple robes, kind of like scraggly, like wiry hair, singed and burnt. His robes kind of tattered and worn and kind of disgusting looking, and he is just walking through this place and just like, you know, disappearing through one crystal door, appearing in another. Like, it's like a fucking Scooby-Doo shit. Like, he's just going through all these different doors and appearing in different places. But he seems to be knowing exactly where he's going, and as you look over at him, he looks back at you, and he has these glasses, one with a larger lens than the other, and one of them is cracked, and he just looks at you and goes, "Huh," and just walks off. And just keeps going through these doors.
And that would be...
And Valus looks at you and he goes, "Oh, that's Balthier. He comes through here. Just ignore him."
Noted.
And as you walk to this place, you arrive in this crystal kind of sanctum. It's this nice little domed gazebo with what appears to be actual water flowing in the middle, in the central pool. But the water seems to reflect events, time, memories, places, things you're not familiar with seeing, and across from them sits a man, or at least you suspect he's a man, in kind of darkened gray pants and a white upper shirt kind of robe. I'm trying to think of a way to describe it. It's got like it's kind of like a robe-like sleeves, and it's got like a single flap down the front and the back that go down over the pants, but it seems to be split on the sides. So as he kind of sits there before you, his face is covered with this cloak and these head wraps, and he's got this kind of tanned skin, and hanging off his robe in a few places seem to be a few trinkets from the road, and sitting next to him is this pack full with traveling gear like tent, walking stick, rope, and other things, and he just looks up at you and he goes, Ugh. Of all the people I thought would touch the mirror first, you were not among them. I guess I gotta adjust my expectations. And he stands up and he grabs his walking stick, and you see him rise to his full height, which is about, 5'9". So he's still shorter than you. And he looks at you and he goes, ugh, well, I guess better late than never. Welcome. Trap It, I guess, is the name you like to go by now these days.
It's a little easier for the people I encounter to pronounce than my actual name.
Well, I should hope so. Not many people who speak Common can pronounce Elven names.
Very true.
And he kind of nods and he's like, so, I'm sure you've got a couple different questions. I've only got so much time to answer them. I guess we'll get the basic formalities out of the way. Hello, my name is... And as he opens his mouth to speak, like, you hear nothing but static come out of his mouth. Like, it just sounds like radio static. Just... And he's just like, but of course, I believe everyone else has trouble hearing or pronouncing or comprehending that, so I guess it would be easier to say that most people call me the Traveler.
Oh, we found him.
Fuck, that's the guy I'm supposed to find.
I've heard a little bit about you, actually.
And he goes, oh, really? It's not often I meet a fan. He's got a bit of smugness to him from beneath the robes, but he waves his hand. He's like, I digress, though. After all, this isn't the time to be talking about this. I assume you don't know why you're here. I know why I'm here, and he's here. And, quite frankly, you're supposed to be someone else. But better you than her, in my opinion.
Ah! Fuck off.
Oh, and what reason would that be?
Well,
Trap is just more or less joking.
he goes, well, for one, Maxine wouldn't be able to comprehend what we're about to talk about. For two, I don't think that Rita would be well suited for these endeavors. And three, your ex-lover's a bitch.
Trap had like this shit-eating grin the entire time. It's gone.
And he looks at you and he goes, you see, the thing about existing in a plane that exists outside of time, probability, causality, and, quite frankly, rational comprehension, you begin to see through the cracks of reality itself and really peer into what circumstance is, what fate really is. For a god like myself, it's a godsend. This prison I found myself in with ever-changing walls, guards, cell schedules, it provides an inescapable tool, but at the same time it provides windows, glimpses, doorways into anywhere in the world, any time, any place, any reality. And so I'm able to do work across thousands of realities that you couldn't even begin to fathom. And my flock grows. After all, I have this amazing champion. Perhaps you've heard of him. His name is Galandon Halinadel.
I gotta fight him.
Has Trapit heard of this person?
Make a history check.
Okay. That's a good 20.
I love how you're smiling right now. Yes, they're absolutely meeting the Traveler.
I can tell.
Oh, he's fucking great, right?
Yeah.
Ghetto 20?
Yeah.
You have heard of Galandon Halinadel, the hero of the Suncrest Hill, the warrior lion, the avenger, the Halinadel that all Halinadels fear and respect.
I have to fight him.
This guy was Zayara's first cousin, and he was a walking legend.
For some reason, yes, I've heard of him. For some reason, I assumed that if Maxine ever met him, it would come to blows.
Quite.
What was that name again?
Kill, 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 kill.
Galandon Halinadel.
Kill, 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 kill.
Okay.
Kill, kill.
He's just like, quite, but, I doubt she'd win. He's quite
Oh, no.
skilled.
Hell that.
Ugh. I'm just fighting words.
Yep.
He looks at you and he goes, no, I guess this place brought you here because it figured you were the best suited for what I need of you.
Right.
And that's why I brought him here, too. He points to Valis. He goes, Trapit, the gods want me to fight their battles for them. Because I am a god of change. And if anyone can change the minds of evil gods or good gods to one side or another, it's a god who embodies change. Change of heart, change of mind, change of ideals, change of ethics, change of soul. And so they want me to fight their war for them. Because Trapit, the Maw is coming. And it is the end of all life here. And so the good gods want to rally the evil, band together, fight the good fight, win the war. And of course the evil gods want to amass power, bargain, cheat, steal, and hopefully circumvent the inevitable death that's coming to them. I mean, after all, you've seen Asmodeus hoarding weapons of power.
Yes, I'm still a little peeved about that.
He looks at you and he goes, but that's the thing, Trapit. It's all so meaningless. It's meaningless. Don't you get it? Whether I change their minds, change the outcome, change anything, nothing will really change. Because gods, by their nature, are fickle and selfish. yours truly included. But
Isn't that the nature of any creature?
he looks at you and he goes, I believe you of all people would know firsthand that the nature of all creatures is not to be selfish. After all, your curse is not a selfish one. And he looks off kind of into the pool and stares at it for a minute. He's like, but I, by my nature, need to change the world. And I've put Galandon on a path I feel will best attribute the change I need, but Trapit. And he sits down, he's like, you can't... I'm glad it was you, more than anyone else, because you know what it's like to live and to live and to live is so dull, so maddening. So I'm going to ask a single question of you. Why should I change the world?
It's true that immortality can get a bit old at times, but look at it this way. If you have a hobby to pass the time, a good project to put yourself into, who knows? Perhaps you can change the world a little more interesting. There's all sorts of wonderful little things where to look. You're the traveler? Travel. See the world. There's plenty of it out there. Hell, I spent 50 years without saying a word once just to see if I could.
And he smiles at your story, at your joy. And he turns to Valis and he goes, well, apologies, old friend, but it looks like my decision has been made. And Valis nods and he goes, but it was the right one. I knew if anyone would make the right one, he would. And he goes, that's true. After all, you like to call yourself the fortune teller, but you're not really that, are you? Well, if one traveler leaves, another nomad needs to stay. And he stares at Valis, and Valis nods, and you watch as the traveler stands, Valis moves almost in time and sits on the stump you found the traveler on. And you feel kind of a pulse of energy ripple through the dimension itself. And the traveler picks up his bag, and he stares at you, trap it, and he goes, well, I guess I have some change to complete. And he's gone.
Ah, damn it. I was going to ask him about Marion.
And Valis looks at you and he goes, well, looks like it's only got one more. It looks like it traded one prisoner for another.
I am sorry about this, old friend. I didn't know that would happen.
It's what needed to be done, more than anything else. If anyone can stop what's going to happen, he can.
The traveler mentioned seeing my ex, as he put it. Can you use this to tell me when we'll encounter her?
You watch as he lifts his hand, and his deck of cards rises from the pool itself. And he looks at you and he goes, last time we met, we scryed. This time, do you care for a read?
I'd love one. At the very least for old times.
And as you sit down, he reveals his deck of cards and he shuffles it. And as it shuffles, you watch it's almost a crystalline glass texture over the cards themselves this time. And as he flips it over, you see that instead of the standard still pictures, these move. He lays the first one down. The Wheel of Fortune. And you watch as the figures on this card that seem to be moving around ever forward, ever continuous, is the party. You watch as they go from where they were at the start, glorious and ready to do battle with evil and all that, until they get to where they are now, withered and beaten, angry and spiteful. And then we move on to the next phase, where once again they are restored, but not quite the same. And then finally we come to the final cycle, where they are once again filled with their renewed strength and power. And then this cycle continues, and he goes, the Wheel of Fortune will always spin in your favor. So, whatever you're looking for, you'll find it. For better or for worse. He flips over the next card and lays it down, and he goes, the Lovers. She'll find you before you find her. And you see as you watch yourself and Marianne in an intertwined dance of life and death, as you both live and die in one another's arms over and over in this cycle, this spin. He flips over the next card and he goes, "Oh. Death." And as you look, you see this glowing pink gem that washes over this sea of smiling faces as they turn to scowls of hatred and rage. And he goes, "You will go to a place. You will leave this place of death and go to a place of madness. I don't envy you." And he lays down the final card and he goes, "Reclamation." As you see you standing atop this glorious this mountaintop. And he says, "You will find what you're looking for and redeem yourself in ways you never thought you ever could." And he shuffles the cards all together and he goes, "Now, I believe you have a place you need to be." And he waves his hand and you go flying back through glass and crystal, through sea and sleet. As you reach out to call for your friend, you are now back in the room on your back as your party is standing over you.
How long has he been in there for us?
About a minute. For Trappet, for you it's been like hours. For them, only a minute. But a minute of not hearing Trappet talk is still worrisome.
See, I told you he'd come back.
Why did you touch the mirror without allowing me to inspect it? I look for traps. That's my job.
But my
He
name
is
is
Trappet.
God damn it.
I'm sorry.
You found the greatest trap of all!
A pun. Alright, good night. I'm gonna kill myself.
Too
Oh,
late.
shit.
Damn.
Alright,
You're already-
America's gonna help trap it to his feet.
Thank you, thank you, lad.
Anytime, buddy.
So,
If I was gonna try but just have his hands go through. Fuck, damn it. Okay, you got this.
Invisible, like, air pat Avok on the head.
Don't you patronize me.
Speaking of, hey, Avok, mind if I hand you off to trap it?
As long as someone tells him what the hell happened.
With Rita.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a second. First, we gotta talk to Trap about what just happened.
Yeah, of course. You good?
I'm only in there for like a minute.
Magic is shit.
That is about 13 hours!
See, I told you. Magic can be weird.
America's gonna look at Avok. Do you want to shoot the mirror or should I?
Can I punch it?
You can
Hey,
you can definitely
his arms like, I will punch this meal.
Hold on, don't touch the mirror, trust me. And I do have some news before we decide if we want to go smashy on the magic mirror.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I found our dear friend. He's alive. Valus, of course.
He's an eldritch blast.
as he says Valus, you all look over at the mirror as Valus now stands in its reflection.
Oh shit.
Okay, now I really don't trust this meal.
And he looks at y'all and he goes, "As much as I appreciate y'all gathering around Trappet, unfortunately you are not welcome." And he snaps his fingers and the mirror shatters.
Okay.
That solves that problem.
Cool.
Shadow in my ghostly flesh.
In other news, the Traveler is free.
He is?
Yes,
Oh, thank God.
I met with him and Valus, and he and Valus switched places.
Switch.
There's a lot of things I need
Now
to
Valus is trapped in the mirror realm for all the time.
Oh shit.
I'm sorry.
Go Valus. I mean, it sucks your friend and all, but like,
I may have
he
not
made my
been.
job a lot easier.
I may not have
That's
been a
crying.
fan of him, but I'm sorry. He was your friend after all.
Yeah, so he seems to have accepted it. So, and
The shallow glass mirror pieces on the ground.
No, it's just glittering dust in a pile in front of the
shit.
mirror.
Oh, there goes what I was thinking. Oh yeah.
apparently the traveler has been tasked by the gods to reshape the universe.
Wait, why? We stopped at terrasque. There's nothing else, right?
Do you guys not remember
You
the
don't
nightmare we
remember
all
that.
had?
What nightmare?
He said
The
the
nightmare of the
maw is
Yeah.
coming.
Avok just looks at you all as soon as you say the maw, and he's like, "Man, shit is just always going to be interesting with you guys, isn't it?"
Oh no, you should really stick around. You'll see.
Yeah, we get into a
Well,
lot
you
of fun. Don't listen to him. We have a lot of fun. We roast marshmallows on Wednesdays.
So shall
Well,
we?
that sounds fan-freaking-tastic.
So shall we loot the place and go for the drinks?
Yeah,
Two
let's
different
loot the
dimensions against
bodies.
My will today.
Yeah,
Uh,
Avok's going to look
I
everywhere. For
I love how
traps.
you said loot the bodies, and there's one thing y'all haven't even tried yet.
So Malcolm actually,
What?
I did have a question about something here, and that was that is there something we need to do now that the portal's been closed? Like, was there any other part of the ritual that needs to be dealt with? Because Malcolm got a special gift from a friend he thought may or may not need to be used in a certain way. Or is everything A-okay now?
Private message me that. The
Avok-
gift.
Avok is looking all over the place, like in all these rooms, looking for treasures, for traps, just making sure everything's safe for everybody.
Maxine's gonna go over to where Percy's burnt, ashes bodies laid, and she's gonna kneel down and say a prayer of court over him.
And I just want to point out,
Over there as well.
Storm.
Yeah, sorry, I was AFK. Yeah, I'm going to bend over him and hit him with the quinine of Revivify. Does that
And
work?
What do you do with it?
I'm going to try to use it on Percy.
Okay.
His soul's
Damn.
I need you to roll a d20.
Oh please, bring my bugbear boyfriend back.
Okay, do I add anything to this?
What's the number?
11.
Okay.
Oof.
Can I
The
see a
coin
quick...
glows in your hand, and as you press it to Percy's chest, you watch as the wounds that were inflicted on him do begin to close, but it doesn't seem to be enough. But you can all add something to this ritual.
I'll add my life force if I need to. Some of it.
Fucking damn! Fucking cold-blooded! I thought Malcolm would be the first one who'd be like, take my blood!
Avok would like to touch. Avok would like to touch his chest, and using consume enchantment, grant him the enchantment of the armor of undead fortitude.
Malcolm's gonna, like, have a soft giggle fit, and he's gonna be like,
Guys, his soul's already been taken. You're pitching into a lost cause.
I still have my phone.
I'll just blast at Malcolm.
Then no!
The fuck
No,
no.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You still have your what?
I was joking. I said I still have my firebolt ready.
So first off, the enchantment would not work in that regard, but
Okay.
Maxine, you said you were saying a prayer of cord?
A prayer of passage.
Would you like to modify that in any way?
Hey, Cord. I really like this bugbear. This. Hello, Cord. This is Bread talking. I feel like Maxine. It's not like a specific type of prayer, but she basically tells Cord how commendable what Percy was, and how what he did was so impressive, and how this was truly a loss to the champion of Cord. And if he could do anything like pop a cord.
Help a sister out.
If you could either grant him safe guidance by the Raven Queen to a peaceful rest, or
Back to life?
possibly bring him back to life, although I'm
Hey,
not sure how that's...
John,
Hey.
roll a d20, please. Don't add anything.
Oh, fuck.
Oh man,
Aw.
a single D20. That's the mark of fate right there. 16. God fight.
Hey, Malcolm.
Hey.
Remember that scroll I gave you?
Yeah, I do.
You watch as it. You watch, or rather, you feel as there's a shifting in your pocket, and it shifts and shakes, and you watch as a single black snake crawls out of your pocket
Oh, fuck.
and begins to slither over to Percy. And it
Okay.
coils itself on its chest, and it stares at him. And then you watch as it begins to shed its skin, and beneath this black snake is a pearl white snake.
Oh,
And it slithers up to his face and bites him. And you watch as this snake, almost immediately as its fangs latch onto his face, begins to insanguinate. It dries out and hollows and withers into nothing. And you watch as the bite mark on Percy's face closes and heals.
oh my fucking cord.
Congratulations. Congratulations, you are now a ghost just like me. I shall tutor you in my ways.
Is he like back?
He looks around and he is horrified.
Percy?
Malcolm
Take it
looks
slow.
horrified.
Are you
Malcolm looks horrified. Malcolm immediately, like, if he's still got the skull in his hands, he tucks it like it's a football, and he staggers.
You don't have the skull in your hands. You traded with Merrick, remember?
Yeah.
I traded with Merrick. All right. Well,
Yeah.
he still stumbles to his feet, and he's holding his staff, and he's looking down at Percy with disbelief, and there's this rage going through his mind, what the fuck? Why did that happen? Right? He thought it would be done. He thought it was done.
Malcolm.
By the way, Rando did heal you, so you do have some hit points back. You're not just staggering. You can get up pretty easily.
Oh shit. Okay.
Merrick's going to step between Malcolm and Percy. I can't let anyone die on my watch.
Percy? Percy, you okay?
Percy.
He looks at you and he goes, "Hey,
Hey.
Hey.
how much time has passed?"
Not
Like-
long.
About 5 minutes.
Yeah, you've been...
Very
I
true.
should
dead.
I should be very dead.
Yeah, I know, but you're not.
Yeah,
and
you
it's
should be,
incredible.
shouldn't you?
Hey,
Yeah,
dude,
well-
you're preaching to the choir.
Traffic glares at Malcolm.
We're the Invincible Platinum Watch.
And
Damn right.
and Percy looks at you and he goes, "That was terrible."
Yeah.
At least we know dying sucks.
I could have told you that.
He looks at Rando and he goes, I appreciate the humor that you're trying to do right now,
Yeah, he did just die.
but he looks at Malcolm and he goes, "Honestly, little hurt, little wounded by what you did, but if there's any solace in this,"
It never happened, and if you ever speak of it, I'll come back for you.
he's like, if there's any solace in this, it's and he looks at you and the normal jovial look of Percy's face drops and he looks at you and he goes, "At least I know that when you end up there, you'll suffer a fate far worse than I ever could have.
Oh,
I look forward to watching you rot, burn, and die.
So politely.
All right,
Bugs,
boys.
Percy.
The feeling's mutual, friend. The feeling's.
Boys.
Okay, okay.
Boys.
Man, I pulled a 180 on my feelings on this bugbear.
I just give a big old hug to
Jesus.
Percy. I'm like happy.
All right, Percy. I'm glad to have you back. You scared us for a minute there.
I
And you?
scared myself.
Yeah, I'm sure. And as for Malcolm, calm. What is?
How about a new rule? You can only gamble with your soul.
I wasn't gambling with anything. I made a fair trade.
Okay, how about you can't use anyone else's soul except your own as currency?
God. That's partly not how Asmodeus works. For first point.
That's not.
I don't get. Like I said when we met, the gods can eat my ass. I didn't think that they were listening when I said that.
You hear the crackling and rumble of thunder in the distance.
Okay, except whoever's doing that. You're good.
Okay.
that might be my old god.
A ray of light shines down through the fucking solid rock, and you see a spectral thumbs up, Avon.
Holy shit.
Okay, guys, let's just get back on track and figure out what to do next. We got some bodies to loot, some arms to identify.
Well, you guys are welcome to that. I'm not particularly interested in that.
Can someone explain to me what the hell happened in that fight with what happened to me and Rita?
Yeah,
As y'all are talking, you hear someone say, "Did someone say loot?" And you turn around, and there's standing in the room, Ziara. And she's just standing over the bodies, and she's already, like, taking the clothes off of the cultists.
Zay!
Oh,
Hey,
I
how
love
you
you
doing?
so much.
And she looks around,
you?
and she's like, doing my job. Where the fuck were you?
He killed.
Yeah, she was
Murdered
off
a
doing
bunch
her
of
job.
cultists.
Calm down.
Oh, of all people to calm down, you're one to talk. Shut the fuck up,
And she
Malcolm.
goes, yeah,
Everyone calm
that's
down.
Maxine.
great. And she looks at over, and she sees the bugbear, and she's like, you picked up a stray. And
He's
he goes,
good.
And he goes, I take some exception to that. But
This
fair.
is-
But
This
fair.
Percy, he fought valiantly.
I died.
He died. He's
He
just
died
like me.
for the Platinum Watch.
Died for the
He
gods.
died protecting and helping us.
And she looks at the robe she's been stealing off the cult leader, and looks at Percy, and then looks at the robe, and then looks at Percy, and she goes, and she walks over to Percy, and she hands him the robe of the cult leader, and she goes, here. And she looks really resigned about it, like, kind of like how Maxine is when she's nice to someone. She's just like, just fucking take it.
It's like they're twins.
And he takes the robe and he puts it on and he goes, thank you. And she goes, don't die again. And she just walks off.
Oh, right?
I lean
She
into.
gets me.
I lean into Percy. Yo, that is the closest I've ever seen her come to complimenting someone.
And Percy goes,
You
I'll take it.
You know, she was much more complimentary about an age or two ago.
Really?
And she picks up the bow off Brunwick and she like plays the string a little bit. And she goes, and she just puts it on her back. And then she walks over to the final piece, which is a dagger that the cult leader wields. And she kind of flips it over her fingers and she goes, And she looks over at Malcolm and she goes,
Any fun toys?
And she keeps staring at the dagger and stares at Malcolm. And then she smiles and she walks over to Malcolm with the dagger pointed at him. Then flips it so the blade is in her hand. So then she flips it so the blade's in her hand and the hilt is pointed in his direction, and she extends it to him.
Malcolm takes it and he inspects it and he looks and he goes, souvenir then? This is a token piece from you.
And she goes, no, that's magic. And she just walks off.
Well,
So she hasn't changed much in 30 years, I see.
So that's 4 items in total.
Malcolm eyes twitch, and he just goes to detect magic and inspect it and identify.
Along with the rest of the stuff that he's been handed, I assume.
Yeah, he's been busy being
So-
Wikipedia for the past like
so-
10 minutes.
I did talk about in a previous session what the other items do, but the blade of retribution basically on a miss, the next attack has advantage and does has advantage. No, it's plus. Next attack has +2 to hit and then does double damage, whereas the blade of revenge on a miss does an extra 2 damage dice of damage. The belt or the boots of the quillfish basically mean that when someone tries to aggressively grapple you, so when someone makes a strength check against you or tries a melee attack, they have to succeed on a Constitution saving throw or be paralyzed for a turn. And last but not least, the Serpent's Belt. Whenever you dodge an attack or succeed on a Dexterity saving throw, you can move 5 feet. In addition, the dagger that she just gave you, you have never seen a blade like it before, but the magical enchantment you can tell on it is a cursed item. The blade can only be used on an opponent after you stab yourself with it.
Hey, it's perfect for you.
Yeah, it is. Malcolm goes ahead and he sheaths it right next to his other dagger, where there's a second empty scabbard just waiting for moments like this.
I mean, you can tell that she meant it to be insulting, but like it still works for you.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to change some of the holy symbols into pentagrams, and I'm gonna have to trade out these sapphires for rubies, but we'll be doing just fine.
Yeah. On that note, what we're gonna do now is, after a long, hard-fought battle and a lot of story and a lot of exposition, we're going to go ahead and end the stream here and begin the social session. So everyone who is watching, this will be posted as a recording in about a week. So y'all will be able to get, you don't have to wait another 2, 3, 4 weeks for your Platinum Watch goodness. You'll be able to see it next Friday. And on that note, we will say goodbye, and it has been a wonderful time streaming with y'all.
Bye.
Toast.
Farewell.
Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.
So long. Farewell.